The real battle is not between you and the world. It's not between you and your circumstances, your boss, your critics, or your environment. The real battle is the one that happens in the silence of your mind, the one that no one sees, but everyone feels the result of. Every day there's a war going on inside you between the version of yourself that wants to rise and the version that wants to rest. One wants to create, the other wants to complain. One wants to lead, the other wants to linger. And whichever one you feed, that's the one that will win. You wake up every morning with two voices fighting for your attention. One whispers, "Stay comfortable. You deserve to rest." The other says, "Get up, it's time to build." One is driven by fear, the other by purpose. And if you keep listening to the whisper of comfort, it will slowly become the loudest voice in your life. It will convince you that average is acceptable, that waiting is wisdom, that your dream can wait until you feel ready. But you will never feel ready, because readiness doesn't come before greatness. It comes after you act. The truth is, your comfort zone has become your cage. You've been locked in by your own thoughts, by old beliefs that tell you you're not enough, not ready, or not capable. But none of that is true. The only thing that keeps you stuck is the weak version of yourself that you keep allowing to take control. That version has mastered the art of delay. It's an expert at distraction. It's patient, it's persuasive, and it always sounds logical. But its goal is simple: to keep you exactly where you are. You can't defeat what you won't confront. You can't conquer what you refuse to acknowledge. The weak version of you lives in your excuses, your justifications, your fears, and your comfort. It feeds off your hesitation and grows stronger every time you choose safety over progress. The moment you become aware of it, you have a choice to submit to it or to stand up against it. You have to decide which version of you deserves to live. The strong version of you already exists. It's the version that dreams big, acts fast, and refuses to quit. It's buried underneath layers of doubt, past failures, and other people's opinions. It's waiting for you to stop making promises you don't keep and start living like your destiny depends on your discipline. Because it does. The strong version of you doesn't speak in excuses, it speaks in results. It doesn't ask for the easy way, it finds a way. The weak version of you, on the other hand, always looks for the shortcut. It wants the reward without the responsibility. It wants success without sacrifice. It wants recognition without work. But life doesn't operate like that. You can't plant laziness and expect a harvest of greatness. You can't pray for a new level and keep living with old habits. The weak version of you must be silenced before it steals the future meant for you. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you gain ground in that inner war. Every time you push through the urge to quit, you weaken the grip of that lazy, fearful self. The fight is not about perfection. It's about progress. You won't win it all in a day, but every decision matters. Every small act of courage chips away at the chains that keep you bound. You don't have to defeat the weak version completely to win. You just have to starve it daily. Understand this. Growth doesn't feel good in the beginning. It feels uncomfortable, heavy, and exhausting. That's because your old self is fighting to survive. It's been in control for so long that it doesn't want to give up its throne. But when you push past that discomfort, when you act in faith instead of fear, you begin to see glimpses of who you were meant to be. The battle becomes clearer, and you start to recognize that every struggle was preparing you for strength. You are not here to compete with anyone else. The real competition is between who you were yesterday and who you are capable of becoming today. That's why comparison is dangerous. It distracts you from your personal war. You don't need to be better than others. You need to be better than the version of you that keeps holding back. Each day, you're either moving closer to your destiny or drifting back into your weakness. There's no neutral ground. The day you realize that the only enemy worth defeating lives inside you, everything changes. Because when you master yourself, the world can't stop you. When you conquer your mind, no obstacle can intimidate you. And when you stop surrendering to weakness, strength becomes your new identity. Discipline is the weapon that separates dreamers from achievers. It's the invisible force that builds empires, shapes character, and turns potential into power. Without discipline, even the most gifted individuals remain average because talent without consistency is wasted. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about showing up when your feelings tell you to quit, about doing what's right even when it's not easy, and about building strength through repetition until success becomes your second nature. Every person who has ever reached greatness had to fight their own resistance. There were mornings they didn't feel like moving, days they doubted everything, moments they wanted to give up. But discipline kept them steady when emotions tried to pull them away from purpose. It's not motivation that creates transformation. Motivation fades. It's discipline that sustains the process when the excitement is gone and the work still remains. Discipline is the proof of commitment. Anyone can speak about goals, but only those with discipline build habits that match their words. It's easy to post about success, to dream about results, to imagine a different life. But when it's 5 a.m. and no one's watching, discipline is the voice that says, keep going. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't seek validation. It doesn't require permission. It just does what needs to be done because the mission is bigger than the mood. The weak version of you will always hate discipline because discipline exposes excuses. Discipline doesn't negotiate with comfort. It challenges it. It doesn't ask, do I feel like it? It says, it's time to move. Every time you choose discipline over ease, you break a little more of the chains that keep you bound to mediocrity. And with every small victory, your confidence begins to grow, your faith strengthens, and your results compound. You can't pray for strength and reject struggle because discipline is born in struggle. It's the repetition of doing what's necessary that builds the muscle of mastery. The person you are becoming will require habits that your current self may not enjoy, but discipline transforms discomfort into growth. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. Those who understand this truth stop chasing feelings and start building foundations. Discipline is the bridge between goals and results, between intention and manifestation. Without it, dreams stay trapped in imagination. You can visualize success all day, but if you don't move with consistency, you'll never taste it. Discipline is the difference between wishing and winning. It's not glamorous, it's gritty. It's not exciting, it's exhausting. But those who embrace it eventually live the life that others only fantasize about. When you decide to live by discipline, you stop being controlled by emotion. Feelings change every hour, but principles stay constant. Discipline keeps you steady when enthusiasm disappears. It keeps you anchored when everything around you feels unstable. It's the quiet, consistent effort that compounds over time and creates unstoppable momentum. That's why people live with discipline rarely need to chase success. Success begins to chase them. Discipline teaches you patience. It shows you that real progress takes time, that shortcuts always come with consequences, and that every seed you plant in faith will eventually produce fruit if you keep watering it. Most people quit because they want instant results, but those with discipline understand that time is not their enemy. Inconsistency is. Discipline is what allows you to endure the wait without losing your focus or your fire. Every act of discipline reprograms your identity. When you push yourself beyond what's comfortable, you start to see yourself differently. You begin to believe that you are capable, that you are strong, that you are worthy of success. It's not just about doing the work. It's about becoming the kind of person who does the work regardless of circumstance. Discipline turns ordinary people into extraordinary examples of what's possible. The truth is, discipline doesn't make life easier. It makes you stronger. It doesn't remove challenges. It prepares you for them. When others fold under pressure, the disciplined rise. When others get distracted, the disciplined stay focused. When others talk about change, the disciplined become change. Stop negotiating with excuses, because every excuse you make is a contract with mediocrity. Excuses sound logical, they sound fair, they even sound justified, but they are the language of the weak version of yourself. They disguise themselves as reasons, but they are really just lies dressed up to protect your comfort zone. Every time you give into an excuse, you trade your destiny for temporary ease. Excuses make you feel safe for a moment, but they cost you years of progress. Excuses are seductive because they give you permission to stay the same. They whisper things like, "You've been through a lot," or "You'll start when the time is right." But there will never be a perfect time. There will never be ideal conditions, and there will never be a guarantee of success. The people who wait for everything to align will spend their lives waiting, while the ones who act in faith will build while others are still planning. Excuses give you the illusion of wisdom, but the reality of stagnation. Every excuse creates a wall between you and your breakthrough. They block opportunity because they blind you to possibility. The more you repeat them, the more you believe them. And once you believe them, they become your truth, your story, your identity. Before long, you start defending your limitations instead of destroying them. You start arguing for your weakness instead of fighting for your strength. That's what excuses do. They turn your potential into a prison. The mind is a master storyteller. It knows exactly how to justify inaction. It will say you're tired, that you've tried enough, that maybe it's not meant to be. It will give you 100 reasons to pause, but not one reason to persist. The problem is that those reasons sound real when they come from your own thoughts. That's why awareness is critical. You must learn to recognize when your mind is tricking you into settling for less than you were designed to achieve. Excuses will never produce results because results require responsibility. Responsibility is heavy, but it's also freeing. When you stop blaming time, money, people, or circumstances, you regain your power. You realize that no one is coming to rescue you. No one owes you success, and no one can live your purpose for you. That realization may sting, but it's also the beginning of freedom. The moment you take full ownership of your life, excuses lose their grip. The weak version of you thrives on justification. It wants to explain why you can't, why it's hard, why it's not the right moment. But explanations don't create elevation. Action does. Every time you choose to move forward, despite your reasons not to, you weaken the power of the excuse maker inside you. Momentum is the cure for hesitation. Once you start acting consistently, excuses start sounding smaller, weaker, and less convincing. The truth is, your excuses reveal what you truly value. If you value comfort more than growth, your life will reflect that. If you value discipline more than feelings, your life will reflect that too. Every choice you make is a vote for the person you're becoming. The more you feed your excuses, the more they grow. The more you starve them with action, the quieter they become. Your results are nothing but a reflection of what you've been prioritizing every single day. Excuses rob you of urgency. They convince you that you have more time than you actually do. They whisper, tomorrow. But tomorrow is the graveyard of dreams. The longer you delay, the weaker your desire becomes. You start to settle, to rationalize, to adapt to a smaller version of yourself. That's how mediocrity is born, not in one big decision, but in 1,000 small excuses that slowly drain your power. The most dangerous excuses are the ones that sound noble. I'm waiting for God's timing. I'm being patient. I'm just not ready yet. These sound spiritual, but they often mask fear. Faith doesn't wait forever. It moves. It acts. It takes steps even when the path isn't clear. You don't need everything figured out to start. You just need to stop using faith as a cover for fear. Excuses may sound righteous, but they're still rooted in hesitation. You cannot live a powerful life while still protecting your excuses. You can't carry both purpose and procrastination at the same time. One has to die for the other to live. Every breakthrough begins with a decision to stop explaining your limitations and start expanding your capacity. When you stop negotiating with excuses, you start commanding results. Awaken the stronger you, because the world is waiting for the version of you that refuses to hide behind fear. Deep inside, there is a stronger, wiser, bolder version of you that already knows what to do. It's the part of you that's been silenced by doubt, buried under past failures, and ignored by years of hesitation. That version doesn't need validation or applause. It just needs permission, your permission, to step forward. Every time you silence your potential, you deny the world the gift that only you can bring. The stronger you is not someone you have to create, it's someone you have to uncover. You were born with greatness woven into your design, but over time, life taught you to shrink, to settle, to question yourself. The opinions of others became louder than your inner conviction. But that voice within, the one that keeps whispering that you were made for more, that's the voice of your stronger self calling you back to purpose. It's not your imagination. It's your identity trying to wake you up. The stronger you doesn't operate from emotion, it operates from vision. It doesn't react to fear, it responds with faith. It sees obstacles as opportunities to evolve, not excuses to escape. While the weak version seeks comfort, the stronger you seeks challenge, because challenge is the only environment where strength is born. The stronger you knows that pain has a purpose and that growth often hides behind struggle. It doesn't pray for things to get easier. It prays for the strength to rise higher. You awaken the stronger you through decisions, not declarations. You can't just speak strength. You have to live it. Every time you choose self-control over impulse, every time you choose faith over fear, every time you take action despite uncertainty, you awaken that powerful version of yourself. Strength doesn't appear in one moment of motivation. It's forged in 1,000 small choices made when no one's watching. The stronger you is disciplined, focused, and unbothered by distractions. It understands that not every battle deserves attention, and not every opinion deserves energy. It doesn't chase validation because it already knows its value. The stronger you doesn't compete with others. It competes with potential. It wakes up every day asking, how can I be better than I was yesterday? That mindset shifts everything. because progress becomes personal and purpose becomes permanent. The weak version of you lives in excuses, but the stronger you lives in execution. It doesn't waste time explaining intentions. It produces results. It knows that power grows through consistency, and it refuses to be driven by temporary emotions. It acts with clarity, speaks with authority, and walks with confidence. The stronger you doesn't need perfect conditions because it understands that perfection is the enemy of progress. Awakening the stronger you means confronting the lies that you've believed for years. Lies that say you're not ready, not qualified, not capable. Those lies are not truth. They are limitations disguised as logic. The stronger you knows that purpose doesn't require permission. It doesn't wait for circumstances to change. It changes the circumstances. It breaks patterns, rewrites stories, and sets new standards that the old version of you couldn't handle. The stronger you values growth over comfort, purpose over popularity, and long-term vision over short-term pleasure. It's willing to sacrifice ease for excellence. While others look for shortcuts, the stronger you is willing to take the stairs. It's not about pace, it's about persistence. The stronger you understands that slow progress is still progress